So I went to the gym today, and my gym offers a hot tub as one of its amenities. So I was sure to bring my swim trunks in my gym bag. And of course, you can't bring your technology into a hot tub. That would be silly. And I came to the gym somewhat late. There was very few other people in the gym, nobody in the hot tub. So I get in the hot tub for like a good 15 minutes, just sitting in there. I find it makes my back injury feel better. So I just had a good 15 minutes, pretty much alone, just sitting in the hot tub, which definitely had a way of clearing my mind. My mind just kind of drifted off to some other things that I started thinking about. So I just wanted to share what those things were. Well, firstly, I was thinking obviously that I was thinking like the most basic immediate thing, which was just, yeah, I'm gonna have to shower after this. Not that I was ever not planning on doing that because I had just worked out. But it was just a little thought in the back of my head of like, yeah, I gotta shower after this. And then I have no idea where this came from in my head, but like I said, was my mind is very cleared. And I was thinking about like given the difference between body wash, what we call body wash, and shampoo, one can only be used for your hair, the other for your body. Um, so I just started picturing in my head if you like plucked a caveman from from way back when, um, however many thousands of years or millions, I'm not great with my timelines, ago it was. If you just plucked one of those people to hear and you taught them the words, you taught them the meanings of like all the basic words in English, like the things that don't have the words that don't have some kind of historical context or that you don't have to make any connections. Like you teach the caveman like all the basic words in English. You're like, that's an apple, that's a hat, that's a table. The caveman, like he doesn't know the definitions of any literary devices. He can't tell you what a metaphor is, but like he knows the meanings of all those words. If you were to teach him how to shower and you were to give him body wash, if left to his own devices for long enough, I would say he'd almost surely start washing his hair with it. If you didn't specify that beforehand and you just had body wash, he'd probably start washing his hair. And then you'd have to be like, hey, caveman, you can't wash your body with that. And he would be like, or hey, caveman, you can't wash your hair with that. And he'd be like, what are you talking about? You just said this is body wash. Um, because to him, that's just an implicit association. My point is that, like, technically speaking, even though we all immediately understand that body wash, you can't use that for your hair, you have a different one that you have to use for your hair. Like, we all implicitly understand that. But, like, technically speaking, the name actually doesn't imply that at all on its own of just body wash. Because your hair is part of your body. But, like, I feel like we see that separation. Um, I feel like that's created a broader separation between hair and body, like going beyond the types of thing you use to wash yourself. But like it's really as much a part of your body as anything else, even if it is made of dead skin cells or whatever. But I feel like that separation exists in our minds. Like we've been conditioned to that. Perhaps just with the knowledge that you got to wash them with um, separate chemicals and all, or perhaps for several reasons that I'm just not picking up on. Anywho's, and then you'd have to be like, no, caveman. See, there are like three categories of body wash, but the word categories was pretty complicated to explain to the caveman actually, because you'd have to be like, oh, that's like when there's like different and similar things grouped into one. That's a difficult concept to get across because, like I said, he doesn't even know what a metaphor is. All he knows is the simple associations. But nonetheless, then you get that point across to him. Like he would probably gain that same separation in his mind of body, but then also of face, because there's face wash separate from body wash. So like after you had to explain that concept to the caveman after letting him shower for the first time, um, he would probably have that separation in his head. There would be just an implicit difference in all context from there on out between body and face and hair. Even if we remove the different types of body washes from the equation, like that separation exists now in the caveman's head. And that was the only example I have bothered to articulate, but like there's a whole host of other things, just otherwise implicit facts that somebody wouldn't know. Things that we just like treat as for granted because of the surrounding context, the things we grow up with. I've kind of trailed off. The second thing I was thinking to myself is I saw this video one time of somebody like put red dye in one cup of water and blue in the other, and heated up the hot one and cooled down the blue one, and then poured them into the same container, and they separated, one on the top, one on the bottom. And I thought to myself, every liquid has a different specific heat and a different density. If you had two liquids or even three liquids mixed together really well, I suppose they will naturally separate eventually if they're different enough. But I wonder if you could speed up that process just by heating the jar in which they're contained up a little bit. Like, I wonder if you could speed up the process of separating them. Like if you were able to make the liquids separate faster, if they're currently mixed together really well, like you've just vigorously mixed them, but they're of different enough compositions that they will eventually naturally separate. Yeah, I wonder if the separation process would be sped up by like heating up the container and heating up the liquids. I've done zero research into this notion, and I'm not going to. And I'm completely positive that somebody that was a level more intelligent than me could, pretty easily articulate some reasons as to why that would or wouldn't work. But I just don't know those reasons. I'm not smart enough. So those were like the two main things that I thought about while in the hot tub. Those were like the two places my mind went. I remember what started me on the liquid thing is this, that it's another one of those just little tiny thoughts that are like obvious and feel stupid to say out loud, but are still thoughts that you have in your stream of consciousness. I was just thinking like, oh yeah, the hot tub water is really hot. Oh man, the shower water is going to be cold at first. I better be like carefuler this time not to accidentally um, let the water hit me, because it'll feel so much colder after being in the hot tub, because I immediately went to go shower once I was done with the hot tub. I mean, I guess that's it for this one. I think those are the only two things I had to say for this. So yeah, goodbye.